It's boring, but this is how you actually get rich in 2025 with Ecom. If you want to make real money this year, you need to stop chasing viral products and stop opening dropshipping store after store, because we all know that game is already over. I've personally wasted so much time back in the day hunting for viral products and got nowhere until I actually discovered what built sustainable, profitable Ecom businesses. And here's the truth. It's not exciting, and it's definitely not what the gurus selling courses will tell you. Now, if you're looking for the make 10K in your first week fantasy that's plastered all over the internet, I know you guys have seen it, then this isn't for you. If you want that, seriously, click away now, because this isn't going to help you. But if you want to build something that generates you consistent profit month after month, a real business that changes your life, just like it did mine, then I'm going to show you exactly how. Now, let's start this conversation by talking about the elephant in the room, dropshipping. I still hear it brought up all the time. Let me just say it for anyone that's new to this game. Dropshipping is dead. Or at the very least, it's dead for anyone that actually wants to build a real business. And yes, there it is. I said it. If you're still buying cheap crap from AliExpress, slapping a logo on it and hoping that a TikTok trend is going to make up for your poor margins, you're wrong. And you're not building a business. You're actually gambling. And what's actually worse is you're stuck in an endless cycle of chasing energy, chasing the next product, chasing the next hack, chasing your own tail. Now, you don't own anything. You don't control the experience. You're at the mercy of a product you've never touched, shipping times you can't control, and ads that feel like they stop working almost instantly. And now here's the real kicker. The only people making money off dropshipping today are the ones selling you courses on how to dropship. And that's the truth nobody wants to admit. The only way you can create a business worth millions of dollars today is by creating a valuable product. And for some of you, it might sound obvious. Many of you, especially beginners, forget this point while chasing the quick buck. So now let's get into what really matters. And now here are 3 fundamentals that, while maybe boring, will actually make you money in 2025. All right, guys, now real talk. One of the most overlooked parts of running an e-com business is understanding your numbers. I see too many people flexing their revenue. Hey, look at me, I made 100K this month, while ignoring profitability. I've been there early on. I was so focused on scaling all over the world that I didn't realize I was barely making money in certain markets. High sales figures look cool, but if your business is just breaking even, like barely breaking even, or even worse, bleeding cash, that's a quick path to burnout and failure. Your bottom line is what truly matters, not just your top line revenue. So let's talk about COGS, costs of goods sold. Unsexy for some of you, maybe. Essential? Absolutely. So for those of you watching this video that aren't already aware, COGS is basically all of the direct costs that are associated with producing your product and delivering it to your customer. It's everything that comes out of your product automatically each time you make a sale. Now, a lot of people, when it comes to COGS, they only count the direct product cost, but true COGS is more than what your supplier charges. Now, when it comes to calculating your COGS, a lot of people will only count the product cost, but true COGS is a lot more than just what your supplier charges. And it's important to understand that. Now, yes, it does include your product cost per unit, but it also includes the shipping cost to get it to the customer, the packaging, which is your boxes, your mailers, and any inserts, that entire branded boxing experience, and the payment processing fees from Stripe, PayPal, or even Afterpay, all quietly chip away at your margins. Now, when you add all of these up, you have your total COGS per unit, your costs of goods sold per unit. Now, let's give an example. If I was to sell a product for $75 and the product cost me $25, shipping is, let's say, $5, packaging is $1, and the payment processing fees is $2.50, my total COGS is roughly $33.50. That means that before any marketing spend, I get about $41.50 gross profit per order. Not bad, you might think, right? But hold up, I haven't even paid to acquire that customer yet, or run my website, handle returns, or factor any of those sorts of things in. And once you do, profit shrinks fast. Which is why knowing your COGS, as boring as it may be, down to the last cent is a non-negotiable. If you don't, you might think you're doing great because the revenue is flowing and your Shopify looks great, but in reality, you could be losing money on each sale without realizing it. I've seen e-com entrepreneurs hit really high sales figures and still go broke because they didn't understand their COGS and how much that was eating of their margin. Now, here's the golden rule that I live by. Aim for at least 60 to 70% gross margin on each product. Now, in plain English, your COGS, your cost of goods sold, should only be around 30 to 40% of your total selling price. If you sell something for $100, all in, your COGS should ideally be $30 to $40 because it gives you a margin above 60%, which is your buffer to cover your marketing expenses, your operations, and of course, still have money left over to profit. If your margins are razor thin, it means you have zero room for error. One spike in ad cost or a supplier price increase and you're suddenly underwater. Keeping your COGS low and your margins high is vital for scalability and financial health long term. It's what allows you to comfortably spend on Facebook ads, to hire team members, and still sleep at night. I personally aim to get my COGS as close to 30% or less as I can, and a healthy average order value of above $100 to make sure there's plenty of money left after the COGS to fund the growth and the success of the business. Now, for some products, a margin close to 70% isn't going to be possible, but if you aim for that baseline of a 60% gross margin, you're going to be in a good position. Now, I'm really going to drive this home because I really want you guys to understand that not knowing your COGS can kill your business. And I promise you, I'm not being dramatic. I'm drilling this message in so you get it right from the start. If you don't know exactly what each sale truly costs you, you can end up selling more and making less. I've seen it happen so many times. You sell more and make less because you're chasing the hype, you're chasing the Shopify screenshot, and it isn't what's going to really set you up with a successful, profitable business long term. And remember, guys, I have been there too. I've made the mistake of chasing volume in markets where our margins were garbage, and we scaled in that market to what looked like impressive numbers. But when I'd have the meeting with our accountant and our finance manager at the end of the month, the numbers told a different story. Now, what I want you guys to really understand is a business that does 100K a month but has tiny or zero profit isn't sustainable. You're going to run into cash flow problems, you won't have any money to reinvest, and you'll struggle to keep the lights on. Now, lots of entrepreneurs fall into this trap, scaling so fast without really watching the bottom line, and I almost did that myself. Now, I celebrate profit figures, not just revenue. A 20% net profit on a 50K revenue beats 0% net profit on 100K revenue all day long. Now, again, some of these things sound obvious, and you'd think people understand this, but their behaviors map to the opposite. So I really want you guys to understand, obsess over your margins and your profitability, not just your revenue. If you don't already have a spreadsheet with every cost for your business, make one tonight. Calculate your true COGS per unit, figure out your gross margin. If that margin isn't at least 60% or more, rethink your pricing structure or even your product. Either charge more, find a cheaper supplier and cut cost, or look for something else. I personally won't ever greenlight a product unless the numbers make sense, because it's this discipline that's going to save you from chasing the sales that actually lose you money. And I want you guys to remember this. Your business isn't judged by how fast your sales grow if you're not profitable. High revenue is cool, but profit is what keeps the lights on. In short, know your COGS. Don't ignore them because it's not as exciting as scaling your ads or designing a website. This one number will affect everything. How much you can spend on marketing, how low you can price during sales, how long you can survive the downturns. Now, get your COGS in check. Keep it low, keep your margins high, and you've built your business on rock solid ground. And trust me, guys, from my own personal experience, once I dialed this in, it felt like I truly unlocked the real game of business and there was no more flying blind. Remember, sales are vanity, profit is sanity, and knowing your COGS is your first step to staying sane and successful in ecom. Now, for the second principle, I want to talk to you guys about product to market fit, or PMF as you might hear it referred to, which is the magic sauce that really does make your sales come easy. Now, in ecom, product to market fit means you've got a product that genuinely resonates with a specific market. People truly want what you're selling and it solves a genuine real life problem for them. When you have product to market fit, it's like pushing an open door. The customers find you, marketing gets insanely efficient, and momentum starts to build naturally. But without it, scaling feels like you're pushing a boulder up the hill in mud. Beginners need to nail product to market fit before scaling ads or expanding, because if you try and scale a product that isn't a good fit, all you're going to do is end up burning your money. The symptoms of not having product to market fit, and if you've got an existing business, I want you to think about these. Sales plateau, your ads fatigue quickly, repeat business is low, and you're always forcing the sale. It feels like you're genuinely having to beg people to buy from you. Now, as Shopify's 2025 report put it, without product to market fit, you end up spending a ton just to get some people mildly interested with low conversion and poor retention and no easy way to scale. Now, on the flip side, once you have genuinely nailed your product to market fit, customers not only return, but they refer friends, they leave you great reviews, and you no longer need them to beg to buy from you. They genuinely want to. Now, when Happy Skin Co nailed our product to market fit, the sales started rolling in, and they started not only rolling in from our paid ads, but from word of mouth, organic posts, and referrals, because we genuinely solved a big pain point in their lives. Because we gave them an option to replace their expensive, inconvenient, in-clinic laser hair removal treatments with a convenient and effective at-home solution, and people went nuts for it. Now, to find product to market fit, I use my NTP-MC framework. It's a bit of a mouthful, I know, but what it stands for is niche, transformation, price, mechanism, and channel. Now, to summarize each one of these quickly, niche is knowing exactly who you're serving. You can't be everything to everyone. Transformation is the clear, meaningful change your product creates in their lives. The price must feel like a steal for them while still leaving you the healthy margins. Mechanism is your unique solution or your secret sauce that really delivers the promised result in a compelling way where they feel like, hey, I can't get this from anywhere else. Channel, really simply, is meeting your audience where they already are. For most of them, it's going to be on one of the major social media channels, but it can also be in retail stores, on Amazon, or on other marketplaces or platforms like that. And now when you get all 5 of these elements to align, I promise you selling gets 10 times easier. Now, before we launched Happy Skin Co, we interviewed hundreds of women and we found that 90% plus were either currently doing laser hair removal or had previously stopped doing laser hair removal because they hated the price and the hassle of it all. So we knew that the demand was there and it would be real. What that meant is once we launched, a single unpaid influencer shout out got us over $5,000 in sales within the space of a few hours because people saw the value immediately. Now that's true product to market fit when the customers flock in and sales feel effortless compared to forcing a mediocre product. The truth is, product to market fit is what separates real brands from the amateurs. Amateurs skip this step, pick a random product and try and brute force sales. Real brands obsess over the right product in the right market and they test, get feedback and refine it until they know people love it. Now this leads to better retention, easier scaling and lower marketing costs thanks to organic growth. So if you're just starting out, I want you to pause, don't even try and scale. If you're early stage, stop what you're doing right now. I want you to ask yourself, do I really have product to market fit? Are the customers buying from me without the need for heavy convincing? And if they are they coming back time and time again? Are they leaving me good reviews? Are they referring us friends and family to come and be other customers? If you can't answer hell yes to this, then stop and let's tweak. Tweak the price point if you need to. Completely tweak the product, who you're targeting or even the niche until the answer is a clear yes. Because the last thing I want you to do is pour ad spend onto something that isn't properly lit. Once you have product to market fit, scaling is going to feel more like throwing gasoline on a bonfire instead of a wet match. Nail it, and I'm telling you, your store starts to run on its own momentum, setting you apart from the 99% of wannabe sellers and giving you a real brand that genuinely lasts. All right, now let's move on to the third and final principle for this video, and this one's a game changer, especially if you're starting out on a tight budget, and it's your organic content strategy. If you can't outspend your competitors on ads, you can absolutely outcreate them with content. In 2025, the fastest growing brands aren't just running ads, they're building communities and momentum through content that feels real, relatable, and shareable. Paid ads are obviously an extremely powerful tool, but organic content is the fuel that lowers your costs, builds trust, and gives you the leverage. Now, here's how we run it. Instead of trying to go viral once, we commit to consistent, high volume posting on TikTok, Instagram Reels, and YouTube Shorts. We treat content like our product. Every day we test. We're testing different hooks, styles, and formats to see what really hits. We're not guessing either. We split test 3 to 5 pieces of content a week. We track engagement and double down on what works best. Now, our formula is simple. 80% content creation, 20% everything else. And the brands that are killing it, they live by this principle. Now, I want you guys to document the journey and show the process, the struggles, the packaging, the before and afters, the trial and error. Don't wait until you're ready because you're never ready. And that's the worst way you can look at it. Your brand story is your marketing. I've seen so many brands document the journey from conception to launch, and they've had amazingly successful launches, and I've seen it across many different industries. Because you got to remember, people connect with the brand story, not just the product. Now, once you've got content that performs well organically, that's when your ads become easy. Your best organic posts become your best ad creatives. Now, that's why we can scale our paid ads so much better, because we're testing what's already proven. We're putting ad spend behind what already works. And that's why we say content is king. It doesn't just build brand trusts, it drives down customer acquisition costs. And if you do organic content properly, it's going to give you a consistent stream of content to use for your paid ads. So here's the playbook I want you guys to follow. Commit to posting daily. That's at least 1 to 2 videos per day. Test multiple hooks and formats and track what gets the best engagement or drives the most sales. Now, if you're unsure on what type of content you can post, I highly suggest you creating a Google Sheet with a list of 10 to 20 aspirational brands that you know are killing it with their organic content and study them weekly. So model off what the best brands are doing, study them and make it your own. Then once we've found the winning formats, the winning styles, and the winning specific pieces of creatives, then we repurpose them into paid ads and you can scale profitably from the start. If a video has already worked organically, there's a very good chance it will perform as a paid ad. So remember that. And finally, when it comes to your organic content, keep documenting your journey. The more real, the more it resonates. If you're not an expert, don't claim to be. If you're a stay-at-home mum juggling 2 kids and a business on the side, tell your story and you will attract your tribe. And that goes for everyone. If you stay true to the essence of yourself and your brand, people will flock to you. I want you to think about organic content as your free marketing army. It builds an audience that buys from you even when your ad budget is zero. If you stay consistent, you won't just make sales, you'll build a brand that people follow, trust, and share. So that's the end of this video, guys. That's 3 principles you need to understand and implement if you really want to make money with Ecom in 2025. Hope you enjoyed the video, guys. See you in the next one.